Roger. This is a tutorial for a crochet Easter egg. I'm going to show you how to make one today, and I'm going to show you how to make the little flowers for it as well. We'll be working in the round because that is the style of amigurumi, which is what this is. We'll also be working in single crochet for US terms, which is double crochet for UK terms. It's very straightforward, it's just a few rounds, and yeah, I think we should get started. What you need to make one of your lovely eggs is some yarn. I'm using this, which is an aran weight yarn. It's actually called Duck Egg Blue, and it's a paintbox one. I'm also using a 3.5mm hook for this. I need some scissors, and I need a little needle, and I need some scraps of yarn. For the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to work quite loosely, but for most amigurumi, you want to keep your tension taut. This is an egg I crocheted using aran weight yarn with a good tension. This is the same yarn, but I used a loose tension, so you can see the difference in size, and you can see that this one here is a lot neater. The one I make today will probably end up looking like this, but as long as you know that you need to work quite tightly, you'll end up with a nice neat looking decorative egg. If you want one that's slightly smaller, then this is double knit worked with a 3mm hook. So you can see the difference. So we've got a little chicken egg and a little goose egg. Okay, right, let's get started. I'll move those over there. So one of the main attributes of amigurumi is always starting with the magic circle on the magic ring. It's very, very easy once you've practiced it a few times, but I understand that it is a struggle at first. What you need to do is have the yarn like that over your fingers. I hold it here between this finger and thumb, and then I just pin it down. Oop, get out of the way. Pin it down here as well, just keeping it slightly taut. You want to go underneath the first bit and pull through the second like that, and then you're going to go under here and pull it through. Okay. Can pull the ring here a little bit tighter. It's easier to work into a slightly smaller circle. So if you pull it and then hold it like that, again keeping the tension. You're going to crochet directly into this magic ring 6 times. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then you want to pull it closed, and that's the magic ring and your first round done. There are 6 stitches in the magic ring, and you want to make them, the next round you want to make 12 stitches. To do that you need to increase into each stitch, and that basically means just making 2 single crochet in each stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's round 2. With round 3 we want to increase again, but only every other stitch. So you begin round 3 with 1 single crochet in the first stitch, 2 single crochet in the second, 1 in the third, 2, 1, 2, 1, so on. If you don't feel confident just counting it out, then you can use a stitch marker. And my stitch marker is just another little bit of thread. I pull it through this stitch here, so we're underneath the last stitch we made, so it's just there. And that means when you repeat your 1 single crochet, 1 increase 6 times, you'll end up here. So we start with 1, 2, 3, third one goes in the second stitch, 4, 5, 6 goes in the same stitch as 5. And if you don't want to count, which when you get to really big rounds with other ami stuff, you might not want to count like that because it's easy to lose where you are. What you can do is just go 1 in crease, 2 in crease, 3 in crease, and round and round until 6. And when you've done 6, you know you've gone around the whole row. So that should be 18. Before we increase again, we're going to single crochet around 18 times, and that will start creating the egg shape. 1, 2, and you can meet me at the other end if you like. 16, 17, 18. You can see that the work is starting to curl in on itself, and what we want to do is pop it out this way, because that's the inside and this will be the outside. This will be the top of the egg, not the bottom, and so we're going to go out and in. You might want to move your stitch marker up to this hole here, but you can see that as we're going round we're increasing, going up like that. So next we're going to make another increase round. I'm just going to move my stitch marker. Okay, so we want 24 stitches next. We're going to do it's 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, then an increase in the next. So that's 2 single crochets and then 1 increase around. See, that was already round 5, so we're not doing too badly. We should now have 24 stitches around, having completed another lot of increases. So we did single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase 6 times. Now what we want to do for rounds 6 and 7, we want to single crochet around, so that's 2 rows of just single crochet. So move your stitch marker and off we go. So that's 2 lots of 24, so you could count to 48 and then you'll be done, or just go round twice and meet back here. Okay, I've gone round twice and you can see where you can see that this all lines up. We're going to make one last increase row, and then that'll be as wide as the egg gets. So what we want to do for this round is make 3 single crochets and then an increase. So you can choose which way you want to do it, 1, 2, 3, increase, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Entirely up to you which way you prefer to do your counting. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just like before, you want to do that 6 times round, and then I'll meet you back at the end. Okay, so we're on the next round now. We've increased to 30 stitches around, and now what we want to do is stay at 30 stitches for 7 rows, and this is rounds 9 to 15. So stitch marker in and just go round and around 7 times, and then we'll meet back once we've done that. So we've just gone round 7 times, and if you can see this nice line here, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the next round is going to be round 16, and we're going to decrease here to get some more shaping, but it is looking kind of eggy already, which is good. So to decrease, we're going to make 3 single crochets in the next stitches, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to decrease over the next 2. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then the decrease, which I think probably we'll use an invisible decrease rather than a decrease you might use in any other crochet. This hides the stitches a bit better. And to do an invisible decrease, you have to go in the first stitch, just front loop only, and then in the second stitch, front loop only. Okay? And then yarn over and pull through the first loop, and then you yarn over and pull through all 3. And there you've made your first decrease. So you want to go 1, 2, 3, and decrease over 4 and 5. And you want to do that 6 times until you're back at the beginning. And I realised that I haven't moved my stitch marker, so I'll do that right now, and then I'll meet you back at the end. But first I'm just going to do it one more time to show you. 1, 2, 3, and then in there, in 4, in 5, or in this case 9 and 10. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over and pull through all 3. I've done it twice and I've got 4 more to go. I'll move my stitch marker and I'll meet you at the end. For row 17 we want to get from 24 stitches, which is where we are now, to 18 stitches. So we're going to do another decrease round, but instead of counting 1, 2, 3 decrease, it's just 1, 2 decrease. And we're going to do that 6 times. So 1, 2, decrease, and we're going to do that all the way around. And for row 18 it's another decrease round, and it will just be 1 single crochet in 1 stitch and a decrease across the following 2 stitches, and you repeat that 6 times. So I'll meet you back after I've done that and we're nearly finished with making the eggshell. And just so you know, there is a written pattern for this. It's on my blog, zeensandroger.wordpress.com, and you can use that in conjunction with this if you like, or just pop over there and grab the written pattern. The written pattern doesn't show you how to do the embroidery, which is what I'll show you once we finish this. So we've just finished rounds 17 and 18, and that means we've finished. There should now just be 12 stitches around here, and we can fasten off. I've already snipped mine, and it's about 12 inches long, and we're just going to fasten off like that. See? We have finished our basic egg shape, and if you don't want to decorate it you could stuff it at this point and sew the hole shut and it's done. But now I'm going to show you how to embroider. What I like to do is have 3 flowers embroidered on mine like this, and the first thing you do is the little yellow middles, and they're French knots, and then you use chain stitches for the petals and the leaves. I'll just show you how to do one of these I think, and then you can do as many as you like. You could go all the way around if you wanted to. I think that would look pretty cool, but I'll just show you how to do one today. So you need to get your matching yarn. I mean, you could use anything I suppose, it doesn't really matter, it doesn't have to match, but mine is the same brand. And I'm going to make a little French knot, and I'm going to attach it to the egg first because I don't want to leave anything loose and flapping about, and I'm going to just tie the yarn onto the egg just to secure it a little bit. I'm going to tie a knot. I've just gone in to 1 or 2 stitches without going through, and I'm just going to tie it in a knot so that it's attached. And that won't go anywhere then. Bam. Okay, so that's on the inside, you won't see that bit. So what you need to do, and it can be quite fiddly, especially if your eggs are smaller than this. If your eggs are a lot smaller like this, for these ones I actually embroidered them after I'd stuffed and closed the hole. I just went into the hole, poking my needle through like that, and did it all like that. So you could do it that way as well, and then you poke all your ends in the hole once you're finished. So this hole's had a bit of abuse, but you can see the ends through that. But if you sat in a little egg cup, then you're not going to see that anyway. Anyway, so the first thing we want to do is our French knots for the middles of the flowers. I would avoid going in the bottom 3 rows, and that includes the petals. So you want a petal to be about here, or a leaf. So we want our first knot to be about here. So we're going to go get that bit out of the way, and what we want to do is go inside, come out. Okay, put that in there. So a French knot is very simple. You just wrap the yarn around your needle and then pop it back through. But unlike with fabric, you want to pop it back through slightly away from where you're coming out, because otherwise it's just going to go right through. So maybe it would go in about here somewhere, or you could have it over here somewhere, just as long as it's not going directly straight back into the hole. So wrap the yarn around your hook. I go 1, 2, 3 and then back in again. If you want bigger middles, you could go 4 times, but it's more likely to get stuck. 1, 2, 3. So keep it taut on the needle, because otherwise your knot's going to come undone and look messy. So keep it taut there, and then poke your needle back through and pull it out. It's stuck. Well, that was embarrassing. So getting it all untangled, keeping it clear. Oops. Done. Not very gracefully done, but done nevertheless. Now at this stage you can go back in underneath, inside, and do it again wherever, and repeat that around. But I'm just going to do one just so I can show you. I've attached the pink yarn in the same way as the mustard, and I've left the mustard long because actually I think I'm going to finish that off in a minute. Don't want to snip it just yet, but I would just tie it off in the same way as I tied it on. Anyway, a petal. You want to get as close as you can to the centre of the flower and pull through without getting in knots. And to make a chain stitch petal, you do want to go into the same place as where the yarn came out, and then about 1 centimetre away you want to come back out again, pull almost all the way through but not quite, and you want to pop your needle through that chain and pull it tight-ish, not too tight. And then you're going to go underneath that, so you're not going back in that hole because it will just come undone again. You're going to go underneath that. Pull it out again, so you've got a petal. Pretty petal. I like my flowers to have 5 petals, so I go as evenly around as I can. So about 1 centimetre away again, until you're almost through. In there, pull it through. Go like that, underneath there, and another petal's made. So you want to do that 5 times around your flower centre, and then use the same method for your leaves. And there's one finished flower, and as you can probably tell, I'm not the world's best embroiderer, but it doesn't matter because it still looks like a flower and it still looks pretty. And if you do those all over, then I think that makes quite a pretty little egg. And as I said, you don't have to be the world's best embroiderer, but you can still make something that looks lovely for Easter. And as I've already said, the pattern for these are on my blog. I think what I'll do is I'll just do a couple more flowers and then I'll come back for the stuffing bit. Okay? So get stitching. There we go, 3 flowers, all embroidered with lots of mess on the inside. All I will say is that just be careful and take your time when doing the flowers and the leaves, because you don't want any tight pulls on the inside, because that'll affect the shape. All that's left to do now is stuff it, and this will take quite a lot of stuffing. You just need to keep going until it's really tight. So just keep going and going, and I will come back when I've finished mine. There we go. This one is all stuffed and full to bursting. You want to be very generous with the stuffing and keep an eye on the shaping, because if you just wodge it in without really looking, then it might get misshapen. Also, keeping a good tension on your crochet helps when stuffing too. I think you get a better shape and it's less likely to go skewy if your stitches are really super firm. However, this is a good shape too, and you still can't really see the stuffing, so that's good. Anyway, next what you want to do is get your needle on your fastening off tail, and then in the front loops only you're going to thread around each of the 12 stitches that you've got on the bottom. And this is how we're going to close up the hole. So you just keep going round and around until you get to the beginning, and then here we go, all 12, and then you pull and it is closed. Magic. I love that. That looks so good. Then just go around with your needle to keep it firmly shut. You can pull quite tightly because this is acrylic and it's not going to snap. If you're using a different sort of yarn, then you have to be careful with things like pulling too tightly because it could snap if it was wool. And that's happened to me before, so you don't want to use wool. Acrylic is best for this sort of thing. So go around a few times. You might want to double back on yourself just to be extra sure that that's not going anywhere. and you're done. A little egg has been made. You just pop it in somewhere. Get rid of that. Snip it off. Ha ha! There you go. One completed egg for our eggy family. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that. If there's anything else you need to know, I'll try and pop as much information in the notes below, or you can visit the blog, as I've said already. I guess all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for watching. I really hope you found it useful, and this is my first tutorial, so I hope I did okay. I know one thing I'll be taking away from this is never attempt a tutorial just after you've done your nails, because now they are bashed up. If you liked the video, please subscribe. Hopefully I'll be back with more tutorials and definitely back for more vlogging episodes. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much. Cheerio. Happy Easter.